Welcome to this week's episode of the Reignited Mums podcast / YouTube channel. My name is Emily Sampson and I'm so excited to talk to you today about one of the key tools that I use in my Reignite program with all my busy mum clients. And this is how I help them to get their ideal body. We do weight loss, toning, improve your health, improve your energy, help you to fit back into clothes that you haven't fitted in for ages, and to be able to look in the mirror and go, yes, that is me. And as a busy mum, we cannot be shoehorning like programs that we used to use in our 20s or that people still use in their 20s or pre-kids into our lives now. You are a mum in your 40s. Your strategies need to be different. And that is why I have developed the strategies that I use in Reignite, because most mums are so flat out and so busy. We're go, go, go. And our lives are unpredictable. We plan to do one thing and then boom, your kid's sick. You have to go and pick them up. Our time is never actually our own until we've actually done something. I'm always like, is that actually going to happen? So all of the tools and our whole program, which is completely bespoke, is set up for a busy mum life, because I also am a busy mum living that unpredictable mum life. So the tool that I'm going to be sharing with you today is called my Weekly Tracker Method, or I call it my WT method for short. Now, this is to do with the movement and training that you need to do and that we program for our clients in our Reignite program to get the body that you want. Most mums want to lose weight, but they also want that toned, kind of sexy, shapely body as well. So the two things that are absolutely key for you to be doing is enough movement. This is usually steps, and strength training, but strength training in a way that's actually going to build muscle. I'm talking about cardio weights, strength training in an intentional way so that we are going to stimulate the muscle to change. So these are the main things that I give my clients in my Reignite program. And then whatever they have got programmed each week, we then tell them about the weekly tracker method, and we say to apply the weekly tracker method. And what this does is it really helps to take daily pressure off a mum's schedule, because you can plan to do something and then, as I said, something changes and you're not able to do it. That can create the mindset of like, what is the point? I can't do it. I feel like a failure. Then you self-sabotage, or then you sack everything off. And this is the key thing that we help mums to overcome. Well, one of the key things. There are many key things. But the weekly tracker method just takes that pressure off when things do change and you aren't able to carry out the things that you are programmed to do. Whereas in other programs, you may get shamed for not being able to do things. Whereas we're actually here to provide you with solutions that fit your mum life so that you can flex and adjust as needed, but still be carrying out the things that you need to be able to do in order to get your ideal body. So the way the weekly tracker method works is, I'm going to use steps as an example. So for all my clients, I'll give them a step count goal. I'll give them a weekly step count goal. I'm going to just use 10,000 steps a day as an example. Everyone is different. But for example, say I said, okay, your daily step count goal is 10,000 steps. This gives you 70,000 steps as a weekly goal. However you carry that 70,000 steps out in practice, I don't actually care. It doesn't matter. As long as we are getting up towards that 70,000 or on 70,000 every single week, we are going to make progress, of course, with the rest of the program being in place, with the food, with the training, managing stress, managing sleep, all that stuff that we support them with as well. But for steps, maybe the great thing about this is that maybe you're in the office 3 days a week and your commute is a drive. So on that day, you're not actually able to get as many steps as maybe later in the week. Maybe you work from home on a Friday, you can go out for a big walk at lunch. Or maybe at the weekend you can get your partner to watch your kids and you can go off on a big hike. Or your kids are just naturally crazily active like my two boys are, and your step count at the weekend especially goes through the roof. The average weekly, or the total weekly step count, is what counts, not the day to day. So whilst we program 10,000 steps a day, the weekly average is what counts. So maybe on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're doing 5,000 steps a day. But then towards the end of the week, you're able to ramp that up and you're doing 12,000 one day, 15,000 another day, and you're still averaging out your week at 70,000 steps a week. So as you can see, maybe one day, you plan to do 10,000 and then you couldn't for some reason. So you can just make it up later in the week. It takes the stress and the pressure off doing things day to day. And you can also do this with strength training. This is why I absolutely love this. So most of my clients actually train at home with limited equipment, although most of them, as they get stronger, they will buy more dumbbells or they'll go into the gym if they've got the time. But most of them are at home, and we make sure that the training is absolutely on point for them. And actually, they're doing a lot less training than they think they actually need, because the way that we're training is intentional and it's building muscle. That is in turn helping with fat burn as well. But say I programmed you 3 full body sessions a week, and in each of those sessions, there's 5 exercises. That's actually 15 exercises a week. So even though we've programmed 3 sessions, it doesn't actually matter if you break those sessions up and you just look at it like a list of 15 exercises, and how you actually carry it out in practice doesn't actually matter, because the type of strength training we're doing and the way we're carrying it out, it doesn't need to be done in a block. We're not doing cardio where it's like, you've got to do 20 minutes and get your heart rate up, otherwise it's completely worthless. It's not like that at all. And this fits a busy mom's life so well, because it means you can actually even do just one exercise. It's like, oh, I thought I had half an hour to do my workout, but actually I've only got 10 minutes. Great, let's do 2 exercises. And this also just keeps your head in the game. And that creates a domino effect to, well, I've done a bit of my steps on my workout, so I'm going to eat better, then I'm going to drink more water. You're more likely to prioritize more movement later in the day, or like your sleep, because you're keeping your head in the game. And you're not feeling like, oh, this is all getting a bit too much. I missed that, and then I missed that. What is the point? The key thing with this is helping people to actually do the things that they need to do and not sack everything off. Because that is the most common thing I see for mums. Either they just don't get started because they're so overwhelmed, they just are in action. Or people start stuff, they throw the kitchen sink at it, it feels too much, or they miss some stuff, then they block it out, they're back to square one. So the weekly tracker method, I really hope that that is going to help you. And if you want help like this to fit your busy mum life, and you actually want to get your ideal body, but in a way that fits your life without making huge sacrifices or cutting out all this food, and you just want to be sustainable and do it right this time, make sure you message me Reignite on any of these platforms, and we can send you some info, and we can also have a chat about if this is going to be a fit for you. But in the meantime, I hope my WT method has helped you. And next week is actually half term, so there won't be an episode, but I will be back the week later. And if you are on half term, hope you have a good one.